All right, welcome everyone to Crypto and Chill. It's Wednesday, February 17th. My name's Michael Tharp. I'm just a fundamental guy. I love cryptos, I love blockchains and learning about them and using them to change the world. Want to welcome on my boy Kaz and Orion. They are the chart masters. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
How are you guys?
Man, with the way these markets are, I couldn't be better.
Yeah, I'm going on a little trip right after we get off this.
Looking great. It is looking great. Couldn't be better.
Good. All right, so I'm going to take care of some housekeeping stuff real quick, and then we'll get rolling here. So we're coming to you guys live on Restream now. We're going to kind of go back and forth between doing some private Zooms, but then also live streaming just so everyone knows what's going on. And we'll have a way for you to register for that later. So we come live Wednesday at noon, and this is Crypto and Chill. And just our risk disclosure here, this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. What you do with your money is your decision. Don't take, any risks that you're not willing to lose, all that type of stuff. And I like to go over this just for new people. When you get into cryptocurrency, you become your own bank. You are responsible, and you're going to get some things called seed words when you open a wallet. And you're going to want to make sure you write those down and don't lose them and don't share them with anyone, no matter what. Don't send them to anyone on the internet, even if they claim to be your friend. You're going to want to have a password manager and a 2FA, which is two-factor authentication. There is a Google one a lot of people use, but I like to use MyKey, MYKI. That's an app you can get on any app store. I like to use crypto.com as an on-ramp. I don't like Coinbase, but that's what a lot of people use. And I would recommend you researching dollar cost averaging and core number trading when you're first getting started. ChangeNow.com is also a way to ease crypto. That makes it easier for new people. So on the show today, here's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to do a quick market update, and then we're going to be looking at the fundamentals of Stellar or XLR, and then the guys are going to chart it out for us. And then we're going to look at it and compare that with Cardano or ADA and look at the fundamentals and chart that. And then the big question at the end of the show is going to be, what would you do if you were going to invest $25,000 today into the crypto market? So we'll be kind of thinking about that as we go through the show. But let's get into the market update and see where we're at. Kaz, go ahead and give us your take just on what you've seen the last week and kind of what's going down.
It's been pretty nice actually, right? Yeah, I mean, honestly, let me actually share a screen. It'll make things a little bit easier. 1 second. Pull this up. All right, so I mean, obviously, Bitcoin's at $51,000. Which is my screen showing up? Yeah.
Yep, right. I got it for you.
Okay. All right. So basically, this is not Bitcoin. All right. So the last time we were kind of looking at this, we drew this, this parabolic advance, and as you see, we've been kind of just respecting this. We've just been kind of just grinding it out.
I think
in your chart.
What happened?
We're seeing like 12 different Crypto Watch desktop.
Oh, interesting. Hold up. That should not. Yeah, that's
I see some people asking.
It's showing one of my other screens. Hold on, let me see. I am actually new to Restream, so
you had it on your screen and initially.
I think I moved it over to a different screen, so that's what caused the issue. Are we good now?
I think you're good now. Let me show up.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There we go. All right. Sorry. Okay, so last time we kind of looked at this Bitcoin chart. We drew this, parabolic advance. You know what I mean? And we've just been grinding it out. We're still respecting it. We've made a pretty good, first base contact, and we're headed up. So if we zoom out a little bit, I'll go into a monthly. The next fib that's kind of showing up based on these measurements is kind of in the $62,000 range, and I've kind of been looking at the $58,000 to $60,000 area for a while, so it kind of lines up. Also, typically with these parabolic moves, you would get a doubling of each base. So if we're looking at this as a first base, which was around $29,000, if you just double that, it kind of brings you to that target of around $60,000. So I think we have a lot of confluence, and these numbers are huge, but when you look at the charts, it's just doing what it's supposed to do. There are projections of it coming down, but with TA you have to go with the what's working until it's broken. You know what I mean? And right now the pattern that's dominant is this parabolic structure. You know what I mean? When this does break, eventually it will. We're gonna have a big dip. It's gonna be bad. But until that happens, I wouldn't stand in the way of this thing. That's what I see.
Yeah, no, that I definitely agree with that. 1 second here. The thing that is a bit scary with Bitcoin for me right now is obviously the hype behind it. We know what Bitcoin is, what it can do, but it's really treading in no man's land, essentially. Let me share my screen. Are you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so right now, it's really, people ask me, should I be buying Bitcoin right now? Overall, long term, do I see Bitcoin, taking out these levels? Sure. But if you're buying to quote unquote make money opposed to investing in an asset, I, in my opinion, wouldn't feel comfortable telling someone to buy at 51,000. Now, I mean, you guys may feel a little different on that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? As far as if somebody said to you, hey, should I be buying Bitcoin right now? Do you think it's a good idea to make money, or yes, if you're going to hold it long term, eventually we could pass the 51,000 mark again, but it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I was thinking about that with our question we're going to answer about the 25,000, and I was thinking about it as like, I don't think I would tell them to buy Bitcoin because we just hit the all-time high. Now I might tell them to start buying $50, $100 a week or a month to dollar cost average in, because you're right, it's still a good long-term asset. But the all-time high isn't when you want to throw in 5-10 grand into Bitcoin.
Exactly. And this monthly candle, we still have 11 days on this monthly candle. So it'll be interesting to see, what this monthly candle does.
Yeah, one of the things that does happen with these charts is that we might actually, hit that $60,000 mark and then pull back before this monthly candle actually ends and leave a big wick. And if you kind of just look back, it happens pretty often. Right. And that is the kind of move that I would maybe expect if we hit that target too fast. And yeah, honestly, like at this point, I can't really tell anyone to buy Bitcoin. I've been doing that like 2 years ago. But me personally, I still purchase, every other week. I'll throw some money in, but I dollar cost average. As far as opportunities go, I think you can ride the Bitcoin hype onto many other asset classes, whether it's blockchain stocks or just there's a lot going on. So if you're looking around, there's a lot of opportunity. And you could just follow the Bitcoin chart, but trade other assets. We're kind of at that. We're kind of at that point in the market, and that's what I've been doing lately.
That's exactly what I did with this coin, GRT Graph. I based on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin was doing and where price was at the time. This was like back in January. Yeah. So actually back over here. So yeah, beginning of January, it was like, okay, once we broke out of this first channel here. Whoops. Yeah, once we broke out of this first channel here and started to form a new channel, I knew that, essentially all the alts were following Bitcoin, so it just made sense. Now we're not talking about Graph today, obviously, but it's the same thing with if you look at XLM, because we are covering XLM today, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at XLM, this started in November. Let's check Bitcoin. Bitcoin was October. So Bitcoin started the run, it seems like. Where's that? There we go. And then everything just seemed to follow. So with everything being, well, not everything, but a lot of altcoins being at all-time highs and needing major retracements and these monthly candles not being closed yet, this is kind of what Kaz was talking about before, how the monthly can leave a big wick. It'll be interesting to see where the monthly candles close on all coins, Bitcoin and all the altcoins.
Yeah, for the alts, actually, because they do trade directly against Bitcoin, you can actually look up the BTC, XLM/BTC pair. Then you could chart those directly. But also, I think on our first stream, I was mentioning to get a better idea of alts, you should look at the BTC.D chart, which is the dominance of the Bitcoin market cap versus the complete market cap of the altcoins.
Wow.
If you search BTC.D, you'll pull up that chart. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It just shows the dominance of Bitcoin versus everything else. And you can use that to gauge a few things.
BTC.D, you said?
Yep. Yeah, BTC.D.
So this is a pretty good question if we want to answer while he's pulling that up. From a utility perspective, do you foresee Bitcoin holding its value? There are other options to store value, lower transaction fees, and energy friendly. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, no, I see Bitcoin holding its value. It's about trust. Bitcoin at this point has the strongest network on the planet, and if you're gonna trust something to store your value, if you're gonna trust something to store X billion dollars, you want the strongest network. Nothing's gonna, at this point, I don't see anything replacing Bitcoin on that front, and that's kind of where the argument of proof of stake, and proof of work come in. Hold on.
So for the new people, what we're saying is there's so many computers helping to run the Bitcoin network. It's the most decentralized, and I believe it has the most computing power now of any network.
Yeah.
So if people have billions of dollars in this, they can't have any way anyone else to be a part of it. And there's really no other blockchain that I'm aware of where you don't even know who's running it. There's no entity to take down.
It's the first mover advantage. Nothing's really, unless you have a time machine, you're not really gonna replace Bitcoin in that sense. So you can't.
Right.
It's just not gonna happen.
This is very interesting because in looking at the weekly, where is my brush? It's still forming higher lows and trending upwards.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is, and you'll notice this, that every time Bitcoin goes on these massive pumps, the BTC slash whatever altcoin slash BTC pair, they will dump. But what I was actually referring to as trading other assets is because of the hype that's behind Bitcoin right now with Wall Street and everything. There's a lot of like stocks that if Bitcoin is making a 5% move, they are making a 30% move on the stock market. I'll give you a couple names like Riot, Mara.
Do you have those charts marked up already?
I should. I've been trading them, so let me see. Let me look at my charts. I can share it.
So from my perspective of just the fundamentals, right now, BlackRock and what's the other big one, Kaz, that's buying the Bitcoin? Grayscale.
Grayscale, Fidelity also.
Yeah, they're buying more Bitcoin every day than is mined. So there's no new supply coming onto the market that's not getting bought up. So that's why I think this is going to be completely different than the last bull cycle and a lot longer, because I mean the first one was just like a pop of a month. There was no huge institutions buying. People were just, hey, I'm gonna make some money and then I'm gonna pull out. This time, and we're going to talk about this with these cryptos, is people are staking their coins and they're earning a passive income. So why would they sell it when they can just earn this passive income? And they've kind of matured, right? Like the kids that were 21 in the first bull market are now 24, 25. So they've kind of grown up, or, we've got more experience, in what we're doing in this space.
All right. Can you guys see my chart?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So this is one of this is just basically to answer that question of what I guess might be a better investment would be Bitcoin if you want to make money, or something else. This is not financial advice, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing. But I've basically laid out the actual candlestick chart is the stock, Riot blockchain, and this line chart is Bitcoin. Okay. And as you see, it's basically following the Bitcoin chart on a movement basis, but on a percentage basis, it's going absolutely freaking crazy. It's 300% in the amount of time that Bitcoin went from January to February. I mean, maybe Bitcoin did 50% since then, right? So this is where I feel like the opportunities are at this point in the market, where you can actually be, investing in Bitcoin without buying Bitcoin at all. If you just care about making money, if you don't care about actually owning Bitcoin and owning it and blah, blah, blah. If you're just like, yeah, listen, I want to turn X amount into more, amount. There are a lot of opportunities in the market right now with stocks, and almost anything that's kind of in this space, in this sector. And these are insane, and if you're trading options on these moves, it's it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me, I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Mike. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, yeah, I want to know more and know how to do that. I got to learn options.
Yeah, for me, I'm one of the people that believe Bitcoin will be an asset similar. I feel like it'll be like digital gold in a sense, So that is something that I would want to have for the future. It's not the moneymaker for me, because there are other altcoins that I can make the money off of by understanding what Bitcoin is doing. You know what I mean? So for those that are looking for the moneymakers, I mean, right now, today, I wouldn't be doing anything except dollar cost averaging cryptos. I wouldn't be putting in, like Mike said, a few thousand at the top, or unless you have it like that and that's your version of dollar cost averaging. But for the average person,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the average person, we're thinking, $50, $100, especially if you see it coming quite a ways down. it just makes better sense to do it. That's smart investing. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the whole Bitcoin thing. XLM, I'm a little salty on, and I'll explain when we get into it.
So let me break down the fundamentals of Stellar or XLM, and then we'll get you guys to chart it. Couple of things here. If you're new, Atomic Wallet is one of my favorites. You can stake Cardano on this and earn, I think, 5%. So this is on your phone or your computer. So if you're wondering a good wallet to use, I like Atomic Wallet. And again, crypto.com is the place I like to buy my crypto, my fiat on-ramp. So you can look them up. So I was researching these this week, and Stellar XLM is a fork of XRP, which we covered last week. XRP is like the banker's coin for the banks. This is kind of like the banker's coin for the people. And it's primarily focused on just being a currency or allowing currencies to go between people no matter where they're at. So Stellar's overall goal is to bank the unbanked. So they're targeting heavily in Africa, India, Southeast Asia to try to help these people that really have no banking solutions right there now. So they want to be borderless, limitless, and powerful, and it's makes money better. So they're really focused on global payments, breaking down the international barriers when it comes to regular currencies, and essentially it allows you to trade them using Stellar, like trading the dollar from the pound using Stellar. That's kind of their overall goal to do. Now, I've never gone deep into Stellar, but as I was looking today, they technically have a smart contract, but it's not like the smart contracts we know from Ethereum. So it's very simple smart contracts, which are essentially just like payments. So there's only 13 functions their smart contracts can do. So Stellar's really more of a currency. It's very cheap to send. It's like, 1/1000th of a penny to send value across the world. It's very quick. Takes about 3 to 4 seconds to process. So it has those advantages over Bitcoin, but some people argue it's not even really a blockchain because it's not that decentralized. So those are kind of some of the fundamentals about Stellar. From my knowledge, I've never seen really them have much of a huge following. Like I know there's people who like Stellar, but like I never see them, like posting on stuff or having huge communities. Like I'm sure they're out there, but I've never seen somebody wearing a Stellar t-shirt. I've never seen somebody just be like, Stellar's going to change the world. I can't wait for Stellar to take over. And I think that's why I've never really, like, I've owned it and kind of, traded it some, but I've never been like, oh my gosh, if Stellar catches on, we're going to change the world. So that's kind of the fundamentals of it. And then who wants to chart it first?
I have a chart ready to go. Midbrain Trading said, what do you mean by stake?
Okay, so staking means that there's two types of networks or primary ones, right? Bitcoin is a proof of work. That means computers use energy and electricity to solve mathematical problems to secure the network. The other one is called proof of stake, where you take a cryptocurrency and kind of like lock it in a wallet, and it validates or confirms transactions, and you kind of get paid an interest rate to do this. So if you go to, the Atomic Wallet, and we can go to staking. I'll bring up my screen here.
Oh, sorry.
So decentralized staking, and Atomic, you're able to stake your crypto. You could think of it as, back in the old days, you used to put your dollars into a bank and earn an interest rate. That's the blockchain version of this, except instead of 0.25% that your bank gives you, if you're lucky, you can earn 10%. Like I said, Cardano pays 5, Icon pays 10, Tezos 7, Tron 5, Algorand's 5, Band 17. That's why I got some Band, because I can stake it and get 17%. Zilliqa's 16%. So I can take Zilliqa and Band, put them in this wallet, and then usually weekly or monthly, it depends on the blockchain, they're going to send me basically interest for validating the network. That's called proof of stake. And that's what a lot of the new cryptos are, which isn't as decentralized as Bitcoin, which is proof of work. So, of course, anyone that's into, going green and carbon stuff don't like that Bitcoin uses a lot of electricity, but it helps secure the network and makes it more decentralized.
Right. So, like for me, I have my Tezos staking in Coinbase, but I don't think I'm getting 7%. So I may have to switch that.
They'll get a better rate just doing it through your wallet, like much better.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just switching up my chart really quick and delete that. So my thing with XLM is I started getting, I think it was back in 2018. Let me go to yeah, it was somewhere towards like the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019. And I was getting them at like 11 cents. And then I remember there were like certain quizzes that you could do on Stellar. And if you passed the quiz, then they would give you like 5 XLM and 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was holding these for a while, and I saw that the value just continued to go down and get lower and get lower. And at the time, I was putting a lot of my money in XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum, other altcoins, because like you said, you don't really hear people talking about stuff. So at the time, I think I had around like 2,000 XLM. And I wound up converting like 95% of them into other different altcoins. So when the Bitcoin run started happening and all the other coins started pumping, I looked over at XLM because I had like completely forgot about it. And it was, I think, around 35 cents when I looked. And I was just disgusted. because it's something, it's one of those things where you kind of threw it to the wayside, you converted into not the hype coins, but what everybody else was buying. And this was the lesson for me that I need to kind of stick to my guns. And if I'm in something, I need to know why I'm in it and stick with it, kind of thing. So my thoughts on XLM right now, I was actually considering buying when I saw it break above this level of 45 cents, but I just don't know. Because it looks like it wants to continue higher, but I would just feel stupid buying at 50 cents when I had it at 11, and then I got rid of it. So that's my dilemma right now with XLM. So what do you think, Kaz?
Honestly, I haven't looked at XLM for a very long time.
Okay, so similar.
For me, it's one of those things, I would say, similar to Ripple. I actually, had a good amount of XLM back in like 2017, 2018. But I just feel like there's better opportunities out there with just other cryptos. I don't really have anything too much against XLM. I don't know it too well, to be honest. But looking at this, kind of long-term chart, I kind of do see a kind of a cup and handle kind of like forming. So let me see something. Okay. I mean, if we just kind of, am I looking at the right thing? Oh, this is XLM up, no wonder. Like that is
All right. I don't know where those guys went. Oh, there they are. I was like, all right, you guys just left me.
Oh, wait, what just happened?
Right.
Wait, did you lose us?
Yeah, you guys left for a minute. I thought I was going to have to finish the show by myself.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The charting would be done, that's for sure.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I think I actually had maybe the wrong chart up first.
Yeah, I didn't even leave. I don't know what the hell happened.
Okay. All right. So did you guys hear anything I said, or am I like?
I was hearing you. I don't know if.
All right, so I'm just gonna kind of just rewind a little bit, but I haven't really looked at XLM in a long time. But just kind of looking at this, I kind of see that we've kind of made like this sort of a rounded bottom formation into like a cup and handle, and it actually pulled back. And let me see if we're actually hitting the targets on this yet. This is just very.
You're still seeing us, right, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this thing actually can come back to like 85 cents. I wouldn't be surprised, especially since that was the previous highs. You know what I mean? Around there, I think it was around $1. But I do feel like there's better opportunities out there, just because I think there's not that much hype, or just not that much. Or that at least that much I'm aware of as far as the roadmap goes. That's what they're doing or what's coming out.
Right.
And that just might be, because I haven't actually researched them as much, and they're just kind of working and not promoting. But I feel like there's just other opportunities out there, so I wouldn't really, I mean, if you're in it and you're making money and you're in profit, that's great. But I personally wouldn't be buying it up here. And that's just because I just, I don't know too much about it. But I do think that just by looking at this chart, it's probably going to go back to like this 85 cents area.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. It's like based on the technicals, I see it pushing, but I just don't.
It's just a weaker one. There's like a lot of other assets that have a lot more momentum. So
Right.
if you're just trying to trade it, I just, like you could look at something like Zen, which is just going crazy, you know what I mean? So there's other opportunities. So I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't necessarily be buying Zen. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be buying XLM.
So I just found out something cool. Apparently, Stellar has a decentralized exchange with global fiat gateways.
Nice.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, the Stellar's been around for a while. It's one of the oldest projects. I mean, I think actually when I kind of started getting into crypto, was one of the first coins I was buying was XLM. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot going on that I just don't know about. But yeah, I mean, at least that's my outlook on it.
All right, should I do the fundamentals of Cardano?
Yep. And then we can hop into Cardano. I think I have a chart pulled up. I don't think I marked it up yet, so we can do that live.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not marked up yet. Cool.
So, just for an understanding of where we're at here, guys, Stellar is number 11 in the market cap at 11 billion. Cardano's number 5 at 27 billion. And as I was doing the research for this, I bought more Cardano this morning. Now, Cardano is run by a guy named Charles Hodgkinson. And some people like him, some people hate him. He seems to be fairly intelligent, but he's kind of like the make or break guy when it comes to Cardano. They've been promising stuff forever. I mean, I remember they were promising all this stuff back in 2017. Very little has changed. They have their main net coming up called Goku, I believe, and that's supposed to happen in the next month. Now, if they deliver on that and that happens and they get smart contracts, that are similar, if not better than Ethereum, that could be a game changer. Will that happen? Will there be a delay? I don't know. But if they can do what they're saying they're going to do in the next month, I mean, I could see Cardano melting faces because of where the Ethereum network is at, with how it's slow, how it's expensive. Again, Cardano is quick, it's fast. And, like I was talking about before with staking, over 50% of the Cardano is locked up staking. So half of their supply is not tradable. Now, they do have a big supply. They have 45 trillion? Billion? Okay, good. 45 billion, 31 out. Okay, so that's because there's probably a slow inflation rate. So there are a lot of them, but over half of these are already locked up staking. And if you can make 5% a year staking your Cardano, and it's going to be used in smart contracts, and you can, use decentralized exchanges, and you can have wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ethereum and wrapped dollars on Cardano. I could see it, doing very well. And again, it comes down to, are they going to deliver on their promises? So that's really the fundamentals. So Cardano, really the big difference, again, it's fast, it's cheap. The big difference to me, though, when I studied this, was the smart contracts feature with Cardano versus Stellar. Stellar has very simple smart contracts that can only do 13 things. And it's basically like dividing up where money goes and stuff like that. But Cardano, and one of the other big things they talk about is they're a proof of stake that's the first to be founded on peer-reviewed research and developed through evidence-based methods. So I can't remember which university developed it, but it's essentially very mathematical, very logical, and has been developed over time. So that's kind of the fundamentals on those guys.
Yeah, this definitely sounds like a great investment based on what you just said. I was actually looking at it earlier before we hopped on, and I was just like, man, like, look at where it was. Even in October, it forms such a nice support level here.
So speaking of regrets, I bought Cardano at 3 cents, but then for some reason, I don't remember why I sold it.
So it's similar to what I did with XLM. It's like, I just, for no reason at all, just converted. I wasn't even really negative all that much at the time. I think it was at like 8 cents, and I'd bought in at 11 cents, but it just consolidated, and I said, whatever.
Yeah.
But looking at Cardano right now, it's like, I feel like the train is gone. For me, I would be hoping we could see price come back to like 38 cents. Coming to
but this. with Goguen coming up, unless it, doesn't go well or they get set back again, then it could. But if this thing goes live, pack your bags, kids, because we're going to the moon.
Yeah, and even looking at the daily candles right now, looks like there's a lot of buying pressure, especially in this candle here.
I got you.
Looking at, a lot of exhaustion to the downside, and it looks like, see something. If we break above this 4-hour level, then outside of this level here, there's not really much stopping it from continuing to push. So I think if it breaks above this level and finds it as support, I think I'm going to buy.
And what price level is that you're looking at?
Around 87, between 87. Shit, man. No, I'm buying right now.
It's 87,
but I'm buying right now. Because this is just
It's 87 cents right now.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, at least dollar cost average if it comes a little bit lower, whatever. But within this region here, I need to at least get some skin in the game because I had no idea about it really. You know what I mean? I was just kind of focused on the coins that I knew about, and I invested there. And I don't regret it necessarily because that'd be greedy. I've made great returns on it, but I definitely don't want to miss a good investment based on something like this and the technology behind it.
Yeah, I FOMO'd in this morning when I was researching it. I'm like, all right, I got to add a little more to the bag.
Let me see.
Kaz, you want to break it down while Snipes is buying more?
Yeah, let me give you the screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you say about being greedy?
Dude, it just looks so good.
Yeah, if Goku goes live, it could be. I mean, if it does half of what ETH does, you're going to be set.
Yeah, so Cardano's another one of those that, for whatever reason, I've never really just kind of looked into or researched all that much. But I think one of our last streams, somebody asked us to kind of look at this. And was it like around here, I think, when we were looking at this? What, January 28th? Possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, holy crap, this thing is gone. But yeah, we were actually expecting it to double at that time. And we've kind of just hit this right on the mark. And it really doesn't look like it's losing any steam. So I think it's going to keep going, to be honest. This looks really good. When you see kind of like something come down like this and get bought back up, and you have like your momentum oscillators kind of also reversing on the daily, I would think this is probably going to push a little bit higher. And we're getting the same kind of like parabolic structure on this that we see in Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Where it almost looks like a hockey stick, where it's just like going sideways, 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 and it just goes straight up. You call it the hockey stick pattern or whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
So would you see it going to the next fib eventually? Or is it got to go sideways for a little bit?
Let me see something.
We're in the game, baby.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think it looks pretty good. It might just kind of chop around a bit, maybe even have like a little bit of a fake out. But like, what we see over here is, we've kind of had this resistance line, boom, 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 whatever. We broke out, we had whatever, just kind of fake out kind of move I was talking about, where we kind of brought it back up and we held along that line. This is kind of on a 4-hour time frame, so it's like the lowest time frame I would go while still kind of carrying. You know what I mean? Because below that, it gets kind of messy. But yeah, it looks like we retested. So this looks like it wants to make another push pretty soon. That's just kind of based on what I'm looking at on this. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad idea to do what Orion is doing.
We are in there.
Yeah, no, it looks good. It's kind of just retesting this area of like resistance, and we've kind of like flipped this kind of descending trend line. You know what I mean? So this looks like it's gonna.
I like it.
Continue. Yeah, looks good.
All right, you want to do some questions here, guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want me to kind of give my take on the whole $25,000?
Oh yeah, we got to do that. Go ahead and start. I still don't know what I'm going to say, so.
I'll just share my screen to give examples. So, all right, let's say you have $25,000 and you're looking to invest. Based on what we just said about Cardano, I like to, like Ray Dalio says, diversification is key to any smart investor. And I would never tell someone to put, let's say, 50% in one thing or 100% in one thing. So the key is going to be diversification. but you also don't want to spread yourself too thin. So for me, I would be doing about, let's say, 15% of that 25,000 in Cardano right now, based on current price. If, based on what we now know about it, if for whatever reason it came down into these levels, or even just started to descend a little bit lower, I may throw another 5% at it. So total, I'm in Cardano about 20%. From there, I would start looking at coins like all of the coins that I recommend to, my group are coins that are essentially Ethereum protocol coins, because I've noticed that a lot of the things that are backing Ethereum are following Ethereum. And with Ethereum being so strong, it was only, smart for me to get into Graph at 23 cents. So for something like Graph, I would be waiting for price to extend like back into these regions. You could dollar cost average on the way down, 50 to $100 as it drops. But it dropped, it went from like 23 cents to $2.89. You know what I mean? So I do think a good retracement is due. So I'd be waiting for about $1, and then I'd go in, let's say, another 10 to 15% on Graph. Then I'd look at another coin such as Loopring, which is another Ethereum protocol coin. We did buy-ins at 25 cents, 35 cents, 45 cents, 55 cents. We just did another one last night at 65 cents. And I do believe that this trend line is going to get broken and we're going to continue higher. So something like Loopring, if it's my first buy-in currently, I would be doing like another 10%, just in case it comes lower to tap the bottom of this channel. So essentially what I'm saying is look at coins that have good technology behind them, Bitcoins, Ethereums. But if you're going to go into something like a Bitcoin, you just have to keep in mind that it's at an all-time high. So you want to start small, maybe 1%, 2% of your overall investment as it drops. And if you were going to do something like, let's say, 30% overall in Bitcoin, I would be doing 1 or 2% as it drops until it got to a major level of support. And then you can kind of, let's say, up it to 10%. Then if it drops some more, do another 5 or 10% until you're at a total of 30. So that's my perspective on it. I'm not sure, if Mike would do it any different. What are your thoughts on the whole 25,000?
Kaz, you want to go next? Or are you still thinking?
I got so for me, what I would do, I think there's a matter of let me share my screen. I think there's a matter of time horizon, like what you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Are you looking to hold something? By the way, not financial advice, right? It's a matter of like how long you want to hold something. If you're a more long-term minded person, I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, just top two is pretty, pretty safe, pretty sound. And I think overall, over the course of time, they'll both do pretty well. Me personally, if I were to be deploying 25 grand into the market right now, I would put a good amount of that into BNB, the Binance token. There's a couple reasons for that. If you're involved in the crypto space on a deep level, you're aware of the astronomical gas fees that we're paying on Ethereum. I'm literally paying $80, $50 to $80 to click a button. You do that a few times in a day, and you've kind of wasted like hundreds of dollars just clicking buttons, and that's not really sustainable. Especially to new people who are coming into crypto, that they want to be a part of all this DeFi stuff. Maybe a lot of people that are even tuning into this. they want to get into a part of this, but maybe they have a portfolio of $1,000. It doesn't make sense to pay $50 per transaction, especially when on $1,000 portfolio you would probably be allocating maybe $100 or something to something a little risky on Uniswap. Especially when you do it like that, paying those gas fees make no sense. So I think that's where kind of the Binance token is coming in, where forget about all the token related utility on the Binance Smart Chain. It's kind of taking the place of Ethereum, where you're using BNB to pay the gas fees, but instead of $30, you're paying 30 cents. That's a big difference. And I think we're kind of seeing the beginning of a trend within the crypto community, at least in the deeper crypto community. The guys that have been in for a while, they're moving a lot of funds from Ethereum to the Binance token because getting tired of paying these gas fees. So I think there's a lot of upside in the Binance ecosystem as more people are going to try to experiment with the Binance ecosystem. They're going to need to buy more BNB tokens, and it's just kind of domino effect. With that being said, the other things I would look at are just DeFi, main DeFi protocols. Things.
Not to cut you off, can we cover DeFi next week by chance?
Yeah, I think that's probably we're gonna have to.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like just getting into that realm, and that's something that I definitely want to dive deep into. So yeah, continue. I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think just without actually like saying this and that, but just things such as Comp and Aave, Maker, these are key components of the entire DeFi system. And I think it's about just how risky you are. You can kind of allocate large portions of capital, in my opinion, to the larger caps, kind of just like, in the stock market, like obviously Apple is safer than, I don't know, what was that car company, Nikola, whatever it was.
Tesla.
You know what I mean? No, the other one, the Nikola, the one that, I don't know, they went fraud or something. I didn't keep up. But it's just, like you have your Apples and you have your Tesla and then you have your Nikola, you know what I mean? Just to give you an example. So I think it's the same thing in the crypto space. I think those main DeFi protocols are important because the rest of the ecosystem feeds off of those. And I think the other play, in my opinion, is to look at the BNB ecosystem because it's kind of like the alternative to Ethereum DeFi at the moment.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me about Binance before it went up by 100%?
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. You should have asked.
Oh, man.
So for mine, the guy who asked me this, I know he's new, so I'm focusing on long term, right? So these won't be the ones that will necessarily give you the biggest gains in the next few months, but I think they're going to be solid infrastructure to what's building in blockchain. So, the first thing is I would probably tell them to only put half of it in. So put in, maybe 15 grand, keep 10 grand cash in case there's a dip to dollar cost average in. And then I'd probably split it up. What'd you have? 3 grand each, I guess then. I would go Polkadot. I would go Chainlink. I would go Theta. And my last one, I think I would go Celsius. Celsius is a bank. So Polkadot, Chainlink, Theta, Celsius. And I think if I was going to do one more, it'd be Ocean Protocol. That kind of is a bridge or help with Polkadot and Ethereum. So I think that's what I would do. It was hard to come up with those because I was tempted to throw in ADA, but until we know that Gogan comes out and they're running, well, and that works out, I don't know if I could tell a new person to do that. And I love Celsius. I think staking your crypto and earning passive income is going to be huge. And I think borrowing against your crypto and not selling it, but borrowing against it as collateral and using the dollars to do whatever you want, I think is going to be huge. But I agree about DeFi next week. That'll make me get into BSC because I've been meaning to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely would like to. You said Ocean, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Ocean.
And my last one I was toying with was OM, that mantra DAO that I posted last night, where I was telling people a month ago to get into it, and it's gone up like 300 some %. But I still think it has room to run. This was a good question. Does the SEC lawsuit against Ripple impact XLM's price, and do you think the verdict will place a precedent on all crypto? What do you think about that, Kaz, or you want me to take it?
Just by looking at the charts, I think it had like an inverse reaction though. I think when the initial XRP news came out, I think XLM actually went up. So I would say it's probably just going to do the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of the XRP fanboys like XLM because, like I said, it's kind of like one's for the banks and one's for the people, and they are a fork of each other. I know I listen to the Bearable Bull sometimes, and he tells his audience, XRP number 1, XLM number 2. So if you're kind of going with the establishment, that's what they like. All right, we'll do one more question, and then we got to jump off. They say 90% of the alt projects won't last because there isn't enough market share for all these companies solving the same problem. Thoughts?
I've actually heard a lot of the same type of talks going on, and it's kind of what's led me to kind of consolidating my investments into the coins that I personally believe in. If I lose on an investment because of something that I was knowledgeable on and believed in, I wouldn't be as upset. Well, actually, I wouldn't be upset at all, because you shouldn't be investing what you can't afford to lose. But if I lose on an investment because of lack of knowledge and just kind of blindly investing, then I'd be disappointed in myself. So a lot of the coins that, for example, I'm going to throw Dogecoin into something like that. Outside of what it was created for, joke, blah, 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 I don't see the value that Dogecoin brings to the market. So for me, yes, can you make money, putting some money in, it goes up a little bit, you pull your money out. Yes, I'm not going to say that's not possible. But for long-term holding, what I'm doing is long-term investing. So I, at one point, had a lot of my investment in XRP, but in light of everything that was going on, I did kind of diversify a little bit more, but I still believe in XRP. So what that means for the future, who knows? But that's just kind of where I am with alts altogether. I wouldn't spread yourself thin buying into everything, because certain things are going to take a hit. And I feel like the ones that actually bring value to the market should still be there, but none of us can really say for sure.
Right.
What do you think?
I think we're in the bottom of the first inning, and the amount of money that's going to flow into crypto is going to blow people away. So will good projects go away? Of course. This is the ultimate form of capitalism now, that we have in blockchain. I hope the government doesn't ruin it. I'm sure they'll try. But good projects will survive and bad ones will die off. That's the whole point of capitalism and the free market. So, when you compare asset classes, it's not even close with the amount of money in derivatives and bonds when it comes to the crypto market. I mean, we're at 1.5 trillion. That's nothing in the global scale of things. I mean, the U.S. government created all those dollars in the last 2 months, probably. Like
40% of our dollars were printed in 2020.
Yep. Yeah, I've been saying that every day on my silver stuff. I mean, it's crazy what's happening now with the dollars, and that's why all these assets are going up, because they're just looking to find yield somewhere, and they got to go somewhere. You can't just stay in dollars and lose your value every day. You got to find something that's going up.
Yeah.
Kaz, any last words? I know you got to get off to Bora Bora or wherever you're going.
Oh yeah, just a little trip. I don't know, but I do agree. I think it's kind of like what you see in the stock market, right? It's a winner's market. You're not gonna have, and what's MySpace, right? Like there's no more MySpace. I think the leaders will come out on top over time, and all the other competitors will kind of die off. And I think we've kind of seen that in crypto just between the two market cycles. A lot of the coins from 2018 or 2017 don't even exist anymore. I mean, maybe it'll come back, but like Neo is a good example. I remember in 20
Yeah.
Neo was the China Ethereum. You know what I mean?
How about that?
You don't even hear about it anymore. So I think it's a leader's market, and I think that's just how the free market works. Whatever wins, the price will show, and whatever doesn't, just disappears.
Cream will rise to the top.
Yep.
DeFi
right.
Wednesday.
DeFi next week, guys. You heard it here first. So Kaz is the most DeFi degenerate I know. So I'm looking forward to learning from him.
Yeah, likewise. Definitely. Well, we might be making some more investments next week.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll be back. I don't know if we're gonna be on the live or on Zoom. We will have to see here. So we do have, if you guys want to stay in touch, you can fill out this form. I'm going to put it in the stream, and we'll probably post that before next week as well. So if you guys want to register for that class, sometimes we'll do it on Zoom, sometimes we'll do it on Restream. So fill out the form and plug in, and to know where we're going to be kind of going. But yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday at noon somewhere. Kaz might be on an island somewhere, on the beach or something. So, but we'll be here next week. All right. You guys rock. Right. Love learning from you guys, and
I appreciate
have a great week.
Have a good one, everyone.
All right, guys. Later.
All right.